Hello, Mark. So, what you been up to for 20 years? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Jamie Hughes Show. My name, as always, is Jamie Hughes, and today I'm going to be giving you my review of Trainspotting. Now, as always with my videos, this review may include spoilers, so you have now been warned. Okay, let's jump into this review then, because Trainspotting had a lot to live up to. Could it live up to the hype of the first film? And in my opinion, I think it did. I think setting this film 20 years after the original was a great choice because there was loads of organic and natural stories that you could tell within the film. And I genuinely really enjoyed it. And one of the reasons why I enjoyed it, this is kind of 50-50. Some people might enjoy this, some people might not. I'm going to be totally honest here, is that it does have a lot of references and it does call back a lot to the original film. Which I really enjoyed because I felt within the context of the story, they really worked. They drove the story forward. But my friend who went with me didn't enjoy that. So, it is. I think that's going to be a personal thing, but for me, this film oozed nostalgia, but there was enough of an original story there to tell that it kept me interested, it kept me engaged, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. One of the other things I really enjoyed about this film was that, like the original, it blended this and it walked this very thin line between tragedy and comedy really well, because there are some scenes in this that are really upsetting to watch and quite hard to watch. But then the next scene, you're laughing your head off because it's so, it's really organically funny, and it was absolutely great. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, one of the characters that I wanted to point out that makes this film so great is Spud. Now, Spud is kind of a minor character in the first film. He kind of just goes along with everything. But in my opinion, I felt Spud was the main character in this film because he tied everyone together. And his story is so harrowing. Because if you think about it, Spud is like the innocent party in everything that's gone on in this timeline. Everything that goes on in the first film and the second film, he's just sort of roped into. And he's the one that's left alone to deal with his addiction. And I felt like, Ewan Bremner was absolutely incredible portraying Spud in this film. And, he stole the show, he really did. And I loved Spud's performance, I loved his character, I loved the innocence he brought to this character and the genuine sweetness and emotion that he portrayed in the scenes. And I'm going to get out of his arse now and I'm going to move on to my next point. And it's kind of, there's not much more to say about this film. Like, it's really great. If you enjoyed the first one, I think you will enjoy the second one. Because for me, it was a natural story to tell. It was really organic, and it kind of tied up the whole story really well. Like, it was a great beginning, middle, and end of the two films. It told the 20-year story in 2 hours, and I felt like we got resolution and we got the ending that a lot of people felt like it deserved, and I really enjoyed that. But there are a few negatives about this film, and I will get into them now. Obviously, I mentioned earlier on that the nostalgia thing, it does play heavily on nostalgia, but as I said, you will either like that or you won't like that. I liked it, my friend didn't. There was a few things that were, I'm kind of nitpicking here, but I know it's a film and you kind of need to tell that story and move the story along, but there was like a lot of times where everyone was in the right place at the right time. It just seemed really overly convenient for me, and it kind of took me out of it because I was like, why would that happen? There's so many like bars in Edinburgh. Why would that happen in this specific bar? Obviously, it is a story and you kind of have to suspend your willing of disbelief, but it just kind of felt a little bit jarring. Okay, the last thing I kind of want to say on this film is that it is a lot brighter and it's a lot less dark than the original. I felt like this film looked a lot cleaner. It felt a lot happier. It was really like, it was a lot brighter. But at the same time, I would have liked to have seen more of those darker undertones and those darker stories being told in this film, because it did just kind of feel too bright. And maybe that was a symbolic thing because none of them are heroin addicts anymore. So their life is clean. It's a lot brighter. But at the same time, they did use heroin in this film, and it felt really tokenized, considering it was such a heavy implement in the first film. To just kind of, trivialize it in this film, it kind of felt a bit, sort of, not slap in the face, but it was kind of just like, oh yeah, remember when we were all heroin addicts 20 years ago. But, I can kind of look past that. And as I said, I really enjoyed this film. It probably won't be for everyone. If you're a big fan of the first film, I think you'll love the second. But if you just go and watch this film, you know, kind of knowing a little bit about Trainspotting, you may think it is just a massive homage to the first film. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this. So as always, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like. Please comment down below your thoughts about Trainspotting. Please share this video and subscribe. And I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Drop.